Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Maria Harris, and the chapter that I chose was chapter 8 on emotions. And I actually did want to choose this chapter because I thought that it was easy and it was interesting learning more about the different emotions that we face in our everyday lives. And I got to know more about the main difference between intrapersonal and interpersonal. And I got to learn more about culture and the societies of today. So first, I'm going to be talking about what Chapter 8 is about. Chapter 8 is about the functions of emotions and how emotions play an important part in our lives. Chapter 8 breaks down the functions of emotions in three areas: intrapersonal, interpersonal, and social and cultural function. This chapter explains the differences between those three, and it also provides examples. First, I'll be talking about intrapersonal. Intrapersonal refers to what occurs within oneself. The intrapersonal function of emotion refers to the effect of emotion to individuals that occur physically inside their bodies and inside their minds. An example of intrapersonal is self-discipline, or the ability to deal with and overcome distractions. Next, I'm going to be talking about interpersonal. Interpersonal refers to the relationship or interaction between two or more individuals in a group. Interpersonal function of emotions refers to the effect of one's emotion on others or to the relationship between oneself and others. An example of interpersonal relationship would be a friendship, marriage, or family. So with hearing those two definitions and hearing about the examples that I provided, I'm gonna break down the difference between them in a better way with a little more details. So, the main difference between interpersonal and intrapersonal is that interpersonal happens between two or more people, whereas intrapersonal happens within one's own inner self. Intrapersonal is also known as self-communication. Interpersonal and intrapersonal are two terms that often refers to communication. These two are major ways of communication or sharing information with one another or within one's own self. Interpersonal refers to something happening between two or more people. It can describe actions, communication, or even a certain kind of a relationship. It's something existing or happening between people. There are two distant parties involved in this type of circumstance. There are four main elements engaging in interpersonal communication: sender, message, medium, and receiver. Someone who is good at interpersonal communication and skills can improve their social as well as professional standards in life. They're good at engaging and maintaining healthy interpersonal relationship with others. Good interpersonal communication skills are essential aspects of a good leader as well. So interpersonal refers to communication occurring in an individual mind or self. In other words, it's an internal discourse of a person. The parties involved are only the individual's mind. To be more specific, the three layers of the individual's mind is ID, ego, and superego. Everyone engages in interpersonal communication every day in their lives. The varied reasons for interpersonal communication would be observing something, doing a critical analysis of something, and contemplating the choices we make in our lives. The similarities between interpersonal and intrapersonal is that both are most often related to communication or other related concepts. Interpersonal and intrapersonal involves one or more individuals. There are two or more parties involved in an interpersonal action or communication, whereas there are no internal parties involved in intrapersonal communications or action. The individual's mind will be the only party involved. Therefore, this is another difference between interpersonal and intrapersonal. So now that I've talked about the main difference between the two, I'm going to go ahead and move on to social and cultural function. So social and cultural functions. First, I'm going to be talking about society. Society is a system of relationships between individuals and a group of individuals. The cultural part is the information afforded to that system across generations. We can see after hearing about these three different functions that emotions play a part of our everyday lives. It molds us into who we are as individuals, what kind of relationships we have. If we have a healthy relationship, if we have an unhealthy relationship, and how to behave out in the open with other human beings. As far as going to a new country or a different state, there's different ways that people interact, and there's different ways that people pretty much talk to each other, and you have to get used to a new environment and new traditions. So that's why we should maintain social order with worldviews, rules, guidelines, and norms concerning emotions. Norms concerning emotion and its regulation in all cultures to secure the purpose of maintaining social order. If we don't have rules and guidelines and everything in place, then our world would be a disaster, and it would be dangerous, and everybody's emotions would be out of hand if we don't keep our society in check. To wrap this up, I'm going to be talking about some examples of the functions of culture. First, it has a boundary defining role. That is, it creates distinctions between one organization and another. Second, it has a sense of identity for organization members. Third, culture facilitates the generation of commitment to something larger than one's individual interests. It enhances the stability of the social system. Culture is a social glue that helps hold the organization together by providing appropriate standards for what employees should say and do. Finally, culture serves as a sense-making and control mechanism that guides and shapes the attitudes and behavior of employees. It is this last function that is of particular interest to us. The role of culture in influencing employee behavior appears to be increasingly important in today's workplace. As organizations have widened spans of control, flattened structures introduced teams, reduced formalization, and empowered employees. The shared meaning provided by strong culture ensures that everyone is pointed in the same direction. Culture is transmitted to employees in a number of ways, most significant are stories, rituals, material symbols, and language. So thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions or concerns, please comment down below and I will get back to you. Thank you.